What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, we'll be doing another episode of Perennial Spotlight, where I pick one perennial from my property to talk about. This time we're going to talk about asparagus. Alright, so like my last few videos on the Perennial Spotlight, I'm going to use the same formula because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we will be discussing what is it, how to grow it, why do I grow it, the possible medicinal benefits of it, and I'm going to add a fifth category because this is a little bit different than an herb, and we're going to talk about how to prepare it or how to cook it. Alright, so first things first, what exactly is it? Well, asparagus is a vegetable. I think you probably already knew that. But it used to be part of the lily family. Now it's its own family. There's a whole bunch of different types of asparagus out there, a lot of which are inedible, but the ones that you're going to see in the grocery store are, of course, 100% edible. The only thing that I would like to add here is if you eat it, if you are going to eat it, you want to make sure you eat it in its immature form, because these things right here eventually turn into a fern-like flower, and you don't want to eat those. Alright, so now how to grow it. This is what usually stops people from actually trying to grow asparagus, because they get confused. Now there's two different ways to do it. You can do it from seed, but it's going to take a while, or you can do what's called crowns. Now basically, to demystify the whole process for you, if you're going to plant asparagus from seed, it's going to take 3 years before you can start, actually harvesting your spears. But if you plant from a crown, that plant is already advanced one of those years. So you only have to wait 2 more years before you can start harvesting a spear. Now, when you're using a crown, I'm using a dandelion that I just pulled as an example. A crown is essentially a little root ball just like this, all right? You're going to take the rubber band off, you're going to spread the roots out, and you're going to dig a trench about 6 inches down. You are going to plant it like this, and you are going to see a little blunt end like that, which is going to be the top. You want that facing north, top, not say north, but top, and then you cover the soil over it, and you bury it, like I said, 4, 5, 6 inches, no big deal. Now, over the course of the year, this is going to be where your asparagus are going to want to come up, okay? At this point, you're probably going to be getting, if you get anything at all, you are going to be getting very thin, very tall pieces of asparagus. You do not harvest at all the first year. You want to let these things, when they grow up, you want to make them grow to the point where this part starts to fan out into a fern-like plant. This is where the plant's getting its energy for the following season. So you let these grow, stay open, stay up, all summer long. All right, when the fall comes or the winter comes and actually kills the asparagus, then you can mow over. Don't worry, the crowns are going to be perfectly fine, and you'll start seeing growth the following year. So remember, the first season, don't cut at all. Now the second season, you can harvest 1 or 2 spears per crown. I wouldn't even harvest at all, but that was just me. I didn't harvest at all, and I let everything grow as tall as possible, again, so it can get the best amount of energy for the following season. Now the third year is when you can start harvesting your asparagus. When I got mine, I harvested it for about a week and a half, and then I let it go, stopped harvesting. Whatever was left over would be able to grow up into that fern-like plant. Because remember, that fern-like plant is what gets energy for the following season. And progressively, every single year that you do it, the spears get bigger and thicker and more numerous. So they start to fill in that area that you plant them. So say you plant them like I did in an 8x8 area. Well, I put in maybe 10 or 12 crowns, and now the entire area is starting to fill up with these. It's been about 5 years. All right, so why do I grow asparagus? Well, the simplest answer is because I like it. It tastes good. I'm a fan of asparagus. I like eating it. However, just like all vegetables, I think the reason why we grow vegetables is because we know how good they are for you. Now, asparagus is no different. It is full of vitamins. It's got vitamin A, C, K, and E. Folic acid, especially if you are pregnant or just delivered, then folic acid is going to be your very best friend. But it's full of other kind of antioxidants, things that are really good for you, and you definitely need to be getting in your system somehow, so why not do it from growing it in your own yard? Now, that's not the only reason why I like to grow it. Another reason is because it is the first plant that usually pops up in the springtime. Now, kind of the whole situation, whenever you go through wintertime, your body kind of stores up a lot of toxins because you're staying inside. You don't really get a lot of vitamins because everything's technically dead outside. Well, one of the first things that shoots up in my garden, even when I plant things like radishes that grow very quickly, is always going to be my asparagus. Whenever that last frost hits, you are usually going to see these little shoots come out the ground within the first week. That's my favorite thing about it. These are extremely early. I've been eating asparagus for about a week and a half now, and this is what's left over. I've got about 9 or 10 more spears that I'm going to let go to be the adult plant to get energy for the plant for next year. But it is always one of my favorite things in the world. Whenever I come out here to the garden, I'm planting everything else and I've already got something growing already. Now when you are harvesting asparagus, it's not that difficult. You just want to make sure you get them before they get too tall. This is about, I don't know, 16 inches or so. This is about as long as you're going to want to let it get, and you're going to cut at the base with a knife or shears or whatnot. But when you start seeing the florets like this, when they start getting right here, you're almost too late, because eventually these will turn into their own specific flowers. So you want to try to get it before it even gets to this point. The only reason I let it get this far is because I'm about done harvesting my asparagus for the year. I got quite a few spears. I really enjoyed being able to eat these, and it's one of those things that I just really look forward to every single year. Now, possible medicinal benefits. I know when you think of asparagus, you really don't think about medicine. I don't, but there is one thing that I wanted to mention, or two things actually, that I wanted to mention about asparagus. Number one, it is a very good source of inulin. Now, if you don't know what inulin is, it is a prebiotic. Now, if you don't know what a prebiotic is, check it out. I'm sure you've heard of probiotics, right? That's the good bacteria that your gut needs. Well, prebiotics are basically the food that those bacteria are going to eat, all right? So essentially, when you eat, say, a banana or asparagus or a Jerusalem artichoke, sunchoke, you are eating inulin. Your body cannot process that. It's a certain form of fiber. However, guess what can eat that? That good bacteria. So essentially, you're feeding the good bacteria in your gut something it can actually eat, making sure that it is very healthy and your stomach is well taken care of. So when it comes down to medicinally, yeah, it may not be directly a medicine, but since you are taking care of your gut, by taking care of your gut, your health is only going to improve after that. Now, another thing about asparagus is that it's a diuretic. If you eat enough of it, you will notice that you have to urinate. Now, I know some people are going to ask me, hey, what about the smell? Because certain people have a lot of smell coming from their urine whenever they eat asparagus. Now, that's not really anything. That's just an acid. It's not like you're getting rid of anything. Some say it's getting rid of toxins, but science is kind of spotty on that. But one thing I definitely have to make sure I mention is if you are like in a high risk zone, like say you have high blood pressure, then you will probably be taking diuretics anyway. So why not do it in the form of a plant, something that you can grow versus something that you're taking a pill. So, and finally, how do you prepare it? Now, there are several different ways on how to prepare asparagus. You will see things like grilling it, because you can easily throw it on the grill right next to a steak. You will see it wrapped up in bacon and maybe put into the oven and broiled. You will also see it sauteed. That's my personal favorite. I like sauteing it, but you can also chop it up and eat it raw. Personally, for me, I like to saute it only for a few minutes, because the longer you cook a vegetable, the more you're destroying its, antioxidant profile. So if I can just put a little bit of butter or a little bit of oil in the pan and chop it up, put it in there, saute it for maybe 2 minutes, then you're still getting essentially all of that good stuff, all the antioxidants from the plant, and you're not destroying anything, but you're cooking it to the point where it tastes a little better and it's a little bit more tender. So that's why I like doing a saute. But hey, you can do it any way you want to. You can grill it, saute it, broil it, can it, put it in, pickle it, because I know a lot of people that like eating pickled asparagus, or you can eat it raw, whatever depends on, your taste profile. Alright, so there you have it. I hope you learned something about asparagus. If you did, please do me a humongous favor and give me a thumbs up. That way YouTube will recommend this video to other people. That way we could all learn fun, cool things about asparagus. I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, okay? Bye.